わないで。よくも私の妹を殺したわね。さあ、どうやって切り刻む。何を。
アブソリュートゼロ。もう遅いな。
Hey yo, what is up weebs? It's your boy, Donis, back again with another anime video. Who doesn't love anime with an overpowered main character who's from another world? I mean, come on, you gotta love a good power fantasy every now and then, right? Especially when it's done right, and that's what we're talking about today. Weebs, I present to you 10 isekai fantasy anime with overpowered main characters. I've got everything from your standard OP isekai protagonist to some more unique takes on the genre. So sit back, relax, and get ready to be transported to another world. Let's hop into it.
でかい。何これ。
First up, we've got Death March to the Parallel World Rhapsody. It's about this overworked programmer Ichirou Suzuki who falls asleep at his desk and wakes up in another world. This time, it's a fantasy world based on this RPG he was working on. And guess what? He's OP as heck. I'm talking max level stats, broken skills, the whole 9 yards. So, what does he do with all this power? Well, he tries to keep it on the down low, of course. He just wants to chill out and enjoy his new life, maybe do some sightseeing, eat some delicious food, you know, the usual isekai stuff. Death March is a pretty typical isekai, but it's still a fun watch if you're looking for something light and easygoing.
Tell me, how would you feel about us getting married?
Wait, what?
Oh my. However, if you've already decided on someone for a wife, I could just be your mistress. I'm telling you right now, you're a perfect fit for what I require in a man.
Next up, we've got Isekai Cheat Magician, and this one is for all you power fantasy lovers out there. We've got Taichi and Rin, two totally average high school students just living their best lives. Until one day, bam, they get transported to a fantasy world. Classic isekai shenanigans, right? But here's the twist. They both have insane magical potential. I'm talking cheat code levels of magic. They pick up spells in like 5 seconds flat, while everyone else is struggling to cast a simple fireball. They've got to learn how to control their newfound abilities, all while fighting off monsters, navigating political intrigue, and trying not to accidentally destroy the world. The action scenes are pretty hype, the magic system is interesting enough, and Taichi and Rin make for a pretty likable duo. Plus, the animation is actually pretty good in this one, so that's always a plus.
ここは会社で残業中だったはずだが。スライム?
Alright, moving on to my isekai life, and this one is a bit of a slower burn compared to the last two. Our protagonist this time is Yuji Sano, your typical overworked salaryman. Yuji gets transported to a fantasy world, and instead of becoming a legendary hero or a powerful mage, he becomes a slime tamer. But here's the thing, Yuji is ridiculously good at it, like scarily good. He befriends every slime he comes across and learns all their secrets. Turns out slimes are basically walking encyclopedias of magical knowledge. Who knew, right? If you're looking for a more laid-back isekai with a unique premise, my isekai life is definitely worth checking out.
I was wondering how strong the next human I met would be, especially one brave enough to come find me. However, it seems you're quite weak.
Okay, time for some isekai comedy with the fruit of evolution. Before I knew it, my life had it made. This one is about as ridiculous as it sounds, and I mean that in the best way possible. We've got our protagonist, this bullied high school student who gets transported to a fantasy world. He eats this mysterious fruit, and suddenly, bam! He transforms into this ridiculously handsome and powerful, well, I'm not even sure what he is, to be honest. But he's definitely OP. And of course, he's got a harem of beautiful women falling head over heels for him. It's basically every isekai cliché cranked up to 11, and it's glorious. Look, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that the Fruit of Evolution is some kind of masterpiece. But you know what? It's also hilarious. If you just want to turn your brain off and enjoy some mindless fun, the Fruit of Evolution will definitely scratch that itch.
You know, you really shouldn't act so scary when—
If you're not coming out on your own, then fine.
What's with the outfit? Cosplay? Oh, what? No, it's not! Black Rabbit doesn't cosplay! This is—
Next up, we've got problem children are coming from another world, aren't they? And this one is for all you fans of high-stakes battles and supernatural powers. We've got not one, not two, but three protagonists this time. Izayoi Sakamaki, Asuka Kudu, and Yu Kasukabe. They're all basically prodigies with unique psychic abilities, but they're bored out of their minds in the real world. Enter Little Garden, a mysterious world where people with special powers, called gifts, compete in these crazy games called gift games. If you're looking for an action-packed isekai with a unique premise, Problem Children is definitely worth checking out.
暗いアトミックスプリットスラッシュ
Alright, time for some isekai comedy gold with the hero is overpowered but overly cautious. This one is exactly what it sounds like. We've got Seiya Ryuguin, your typical isekai protagonist who gets summoned to another world to save the day, except Seiya is anything but typical. He's ridiculously OP, like world-endingly OP, but he's also the most cautious person you'll ever meet. I'm talking about buying 3 sets of armor, one to wear, one as a spare, and one as a spare for the spare. He over-prepares for everything, even if it means fighting a lowly slime with the force of 1,000 suns. It's absolutely ridiculous, and it's what makes the show so hilarious. The hero is overpowered, but overly cautious is a great choice if you're looking for an isekai that's more about the laughs than the plot.
Massive explosion! Never expect mercy from a demon lord.
Moving on to How Not to Summon a Demon Lord, and this one is interesting to say the least. It's got your typical isekai setup. Takuma Sakamoto, a shut-in gamer, gets summoned to another world as his overpowered demon lord avatar Diablo. He's got 2 cute girls who accidentally summoned him and are now bound to be his slaves. Takuma, despite being a total badass in-game, is actually a massive, socially awkward dork in real life. So he's constantly trying to play the part of the demon lord, while secretly freaking out on the inside. If you're looking for an isekai that's both funny and surprisingly thoughtful, How Not to Summon a Demon Lord is definitely worth checking out.
死ね。神の怒りに焼き貫かれて。メギド！始ま国死者1788
Time for one of the big hitters in the isekai genre. That time I got reincarnated as a slime. This one took the anime community by storm. It's got an overpowered protagonist, a colorful cast, and impressive animation. Meet Satoru Mikami, a 37-year-old salaryman. He gets stabbed and dies. Classic isekai, right? But he wakes up as a slime. Not just any slime though, this is Rimuru Tempest. He can absorb the skills of anything he consumes. He quickly becomes one of the most overpowered beings. It's surprisingly heartwarming and special.
これがアインズールコン魔導国か。
悪魔とアンデッド。どちらが滅びようと我々には損害がない。
Next up we've got Overlord, and this one is for all you fans of dark fantasy and skeletal overlords. It's basically what would happen if you took an overpowered isekai protagonist, stripped away all sense of morality, and gave him an army of equally overpowered minions. We've got Momonga, a hardcore gamer who's playing his favorite VR MMORPG Yggdrasil right before it shuts down for good, but instead of logging out like a normal person, he decides to stay logged in until the very end. The game doesn't shut down, and Momonga finds himself trapped in the body of his skeletal avatar, Ainz Ul Gaon. Not only that, but all the NPCs in his guild base have come to life and are now completely loyal to him. Overlord is a really interesting exploration of morality and power. Ainz might be the protagonist, but he's not exactly a good guy. It's a complex and fascinating dynamic, and it's what makes Overlord such a compelling watch. And finally we've got Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation, a bit of a controversial one. It's the story of Rudeus Greyrat, a 34-year-old NEET who gets reincarnated into a fantasy world as a baby. He retains all his memories, making him a super genius in a baby's body. He learns magic quickly, masters swordsmanship, and becomes overpowered. But Rudeus is kind of a creep with perverted thoughts. Some find this unforgivable, but others find him compelling and relatable. He's flawed, but trying to be better, battling inner demons. And there you have it, weebs! Those are my picks for the top 10 isekai anime with overpowered main characters. Whether you're looking for a lighthearted comedy, a dark fantasy epic, or something in between, there's definitely an isekai out there for you. What are some of your favorite isekai anime? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more awesome anime content. Hope to see you next time. Until then, goodbye!